This is the perfect RIA, in case you didn't know. Bringing you all the strategies to help your business grow. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Sit back and listen in while you feel the beat, yeah. Another myth bites the dust.
Hello, TBR Nation. This is Amber Kean from The Perfect REA. Thank you for joining me on today's Follow-Up Friday. Monday's episode was a throwback while Matt and Micah are in search. They were talking about Roth conversions, but kicked off with the importance of paying attention to what and how you're delivering information to your clients. The guys mentioned that sometimes you get caught up in a routine and how you think you should be doing something as opposed to what is the biggest impact for your clients. Everything that you do and the way that you do it needs to be intentional. They said to consider, how often do you overcomplicate things? Micah said that if you can't explain it on one page, then it's too complex. For one topic, there should be one page. If you're doing more than that, you can lose the ability to effectively communicate with a client. Matt gave the example of doing things in crayon, and that if you can't draw it out in crayon, then you're going too deep. So getting into Roth conversions, Matt said the reason that he becomes familiar with Roth conversions is that he knows at some point his clients are going to need to take out a lump sum. This allows them to have options down the road. And for Micah, Roth conversions and taxes are a diversification question. So while the reason for discussing this with their clients might differ, it goes back to being intentional with what you're talking to your clients about and how you're saying it. And they said you don't need an elaborate plan. You can share with your clients why it does or doesn't make sense to do a Roth conversion and have that conversation every year. This is also where you use that dishwasher rule. Roth conversions might not make sense for all your clients right now, but you can still have a conversation around it so you get credit for the work you're doing. Clients love to know that you as the advisor are on top of things, so this doesn't come across as repetitive. There's so much value in this. As far as explaining this in meetings, again, Matt and Micah said that you just need a general plan and keep the conversation broad. Micah will say, looking at your current tax bracket based upon where you're going to be, we need to be between X and Y. A general answer that he gives to clients is if their investments generate a tax bill, then their investment will pay the taxes. They don't need to come out of pocket. They also discussed tax tolerance, and that it's important to know your client's tax tolerance, whether it's those clients who, no matter what, want to get a refund, and other clients who don't want to pay anything until taxes are due, as long as they don't have to deal with a penalty. Matt and Micah also talked about steps for those advisors who aren't able to do tax planning or just aren't comfortable with it. The first step is to use the Retirement Tax Services tax guide and have it readily available. The guys keep this on their desk, and you can use it with your clients to show with the tax changes whether they want to pay taxes at a higher rate later or a lower rate now. The second step is about Medicare. What's their IRMA going to be at 65 or 72? And how is that affecting their income? Micah said this is retirement income planning, not tax planning. For those who don't want to become an expert, Matt and Micah recommend that you find an expert to partner with, such as Retirement Tax Services. This is all about helping your clients. So if you're finding someone to connect them with, don't just give them a number and let them call. Coordinate that meeting and make sure that it's a 5-star event. Let's get into action items. Make a list of all the clients you want to do a Roth conversion for and look at accelerating them. And do this during surge meetings and record why you decided to or not do Roth conversion. And this will save you time later. And you need to mention Roth conversions to every client every year. On Thursday, Jamie was talking about Surge and what makes the perfect Surge dates. She shared how they started implementing Surge at Shalansky & Associates, which began after Floyd Shalansky hired Dan Sullivan and implemented the 3 time blocks of strategic, focus, and buffer days. So he'd look at his calendar and back into dates in his schedule, starting with the end in mind. So he would look at how much revenue he wanted to make, then backed into how many clients he needed, how many prospects, how many appointments, and so on. And he divided his calendar into quarters. Surge was then developed after deciding to put a spin on those strategic buffer and focus days. And Jamie said it was the emergence of electronic information and communication that modified their business model because clients could then reach out to them anytime. But she said that then meant that they needed to structure how and when clients were reaching out to them. She cautioned that as an advisor, you're likely to quickly break your process when it comes to appointments, and you will try to make a time work for a prospect or client no matter what. But that when you do that, the client or prospect doesn't get a great experience. So going back to the calendar and backing into dates and the implementation of Surge, once they figured out what they needed, they then considered what works for the client. And that's how they came up with Surge dates, because they serve clients during that time. And that time is when it makes the most sense for them. But why do they surge? Jamie said they surge because they want to deliver value to clients, have collective energy amongst the team, and constantly be at their highest and best use. And they've now created what they believe is the perfect surge schedule. This is all of March and half of April, ending with April 15th. Now, Jamie said you can adapt that to your practice, and that's dependent on the number of clients you have. For example, Matt doesn't meet with clients on Fridays. Jamie also said that at the end of your surge, you need to have buffer days that you can use for any second appointments that are needed with prospects or new or existing clients. With the rest of the year and looking into months to come during the summer, Jamie said clients are usually traveling or taking vacation, so this isn't usually when they want to meet with their advisor. So for 1 week out of every summer month, Shalansky & Associates is open for appointments for mini surge. Then the next big surge is October and half of November, because anyone who delayed their taxes is getting them filed. And this is also the time that families are getting together. This is a great time to talk about beneficiaries, long-term care, and estate planning. That way people are hitting the ground running in January and February. Jamie said with this, make sure that you also have enough time slots in December, because this is a powerful time to meet with legacy clients and have family meetings. Let's get into action items. If you haven't started Surge, start small. Look at it as a marathon, not a sprint, and then start building that momentum up. Use the schedule that Jamie recommended, and when you commit to Surge, you need to get your entire team on board. Give Surge a couple of years to flesh out. It'll be uncomfortable to start, and in the first year, you need to see what worked and what didn't. Before we go, TBR Nation, if you're ready to grow and dramatically impact your life and those around you, and you want resources to help, reach out to us at lifestyle@theperfectRE.com, or you can visit theperfectre.com/grow. That wraps up this week's recap. Thank you for joining me, and please share this or any of our episodes with another advisor or team member who you think might benefit from listening. And be sure to subscribe to the Perfect RE podcast so you don't miss an episode. Until next time, happy planning.
Hold on before we go. Something that you need to know. This isn't tax, legal, or investment advice. That isn't our intent. Information designed to change lives. Financial planning can make you thrive. Start today, don't think twice. Be a better husband, father, mother, and wife. The Perfect RIA.